This is the most sought after watch in the industry, and I was able to get my hands on it. Let's see how I did that. I'm Francois, and it's time to watch. Out of all these watches, this one here is mine. It's the Hamilton Khaki Field. I'll be coming out with this one shortly. And the other one that's mine is this one. This is part of a two-watch series, the Range Master series. It's a collaboration between Island Watch and the Urban Gentry. So this one is another upcoming review. These watches here are not mine. These are watches that were lent to me by family members, and you know who you are, so I truly appreciate it. As I indicated in the intro, I wanted to start with something special, and no, it's not clickbait, because, as you saw in the thumbnail and the title, it's a Rolex Daytona. This one is also on loan from one of my family members, and you know who you are, and I thank you very much, because never in my lifetime I would have guessed to put my hands on this. So let's dive in right away and open this up. And most of you know this Rolex Daytona is 60 years old this year in 2023, because the very first Rolex came out in 1963. And your eyes are not deceiving you. This is a Rolex Daytona, model number 16500LN, Lunette Noire. So let's get it out right away and see what it looks like up close. The very first time we saw the word Daytona on a Rolex was in 1963. It was in regards to the push into the American market into official sponsorship of the 24-hour race at Daytona. This version here with the ceramic bezel is the one that came out in 2016. I should say that with all the incremental changes since then, I feel this one is the best Rolex out there. I would even say I'm not a Rolex guy, but this is maybe one of two Rolex watches that I would wear. If we go directly to the measurements, the diameter stated on their website is 40 millimeters, but I measured 38.5, so it's my calipers, maybe they're not adjusted. The lug-to-lug is 46.3, but because it's male end links, you have an extended width at 50.3 millimeters. The thickness is at 12.2 millimeters, but because this is a chronograph, it's fairly thin. The lug width is a very manageable 20 millimeters, and on the bracelet, it goes from 20 and it tapers down to 16. With this watch here, I can truly say it's oyster bracelet because it's a Rolex. It's not an oyster-like bracelet with the three links. The material of this metal is essentially oyster steel. They call it oyster steel because it's proprietary. It's an alloy of 904L stainless steel that adds durability and corrosion resistance to it, with a middle link that's polished, and on the side links, it's brushed. It tapers from 16 to 20, and it's very comfortable regardless of the fact that it has a male end link. If we now look at the watch face itself, let's start at the outer ring. Like I said, it's a ceramic bezel. It's embossed with the markings for the tachymeter. And if I recall, it's an alloy of chrome and ceramic. So it's very, very durable and very scratch resistant. Then if we look at the inner ring, the rehaut, you'll notice the Rolex markings all around it. And then you have at the outskirts of the dial that minute track where you see the hand for the tachymeter touches at the very edge. And you'll notice as well it crosses these applied markers, which is white gold, and they're infused with lume. I'll show you the lume, but it doesn't last that long, let's say. It's decent lume. If we now look at the 3 subdials, the black track has a kind of a circular texture to it. At the bottom, 6 o'clock, that subdial is the running seconds. And when you start the tachymeter, you have at 3 o'clock, the running minutes, and at the 9 o'clock, the running hours. At the bottom, of course, it's Swiss made. But you can also detect that Rolex logo on the crystal. What I really dislike is all that writing on the dial. It's not even an applied logo. If you look at Rolex, Cosmograph, maybe 2 words would be more than enough. And finally, those hands. Those baton-style hands are high polish but has an angle on each side. And as you saw, they're lumed. They're nice and simple, and it's relatively legible because of those angles and that contrast on the white dial. And on top of all that, protecting that nice dial is a nice boxed sapphire crystal, which adds a nice vintage look and feel, regardless of the fact that this watch is one of the most modern versions of this Rolex Daytona. What I really find interesting about this watch is the case back. It's a screw-down case back that is completely empty. There's no marking whatsoever, and that's by design, because usually people buy this type of watch to keep forever and commemorate some sort of an event. Therefore, they engrave it on the back of the watch. So if we look at the clasp itself, you see the logo. It's used as a tool to open that fold over. It has that divot right there to help out, of course, to just grab it. And it has a mechanism. It's kind of a spring-loaded mechanism where you could just pull, and you see right under there's a hook that grabs on to that nub at the bottom right there. So when you press on it, it closes. It closes up really well, and you're sure you don't lose your Rolex. So if we open it up and look on the other side, there's an extension where you can see here there's kind of a hook, and when you fold it over, it grabs onto that bar right there. So if you fold it and press, you see where it grabs on. You just close it, and then it's nice and secure, and you have an extension of about 4 or 5 millimeters. So when you just unhook it and extend it, you can extend it as you need it for your bracelet. Let me put this one on my wrist to see what it looks like, but before I need to take this one off. It's the Rangemaster, like I said. It's part of a series of watches, the Rangemaster series. It's a collaboration between Island Watch and the Urban Gentry. So if you do like these reviews, well, this is my time to remind you to press the like button. And of course, I encourage you to subscribe and press that notification bell. So when you see these reviews, this one is one of them, or these, well, you'll be notified. Here it is on my 7-inch wrist, and it fits well with that adjustment in the back, and this is a really nice watch to wear every day. And I say that because this stainless steel is very resistant to corrosion with that 904L stainless steel. Okay, there's a little scratches there with that high polish in the middle. On the face, you have a sapphire crystal that protects against scratches. You have the bezel that has this combination of cerachrome, they call it. It's a ceramic with chrome that adds more durability to that bezel. So again, it's scratch resistant. You have the pushers that all are all screwed in. So you have that peace of mind for that 100 meter of water resistance. So, why not wear it? It wears really well. It's an adventure watch, and it's a daily wear in my mind. So I hope you like these types of watches. And this is a Rolex. It's not the type of watch I review, but if you do like the types of watches I review, and you're still here listening at this point, well, I appreciate you sticking around. I appreciate you tuning in, and of course, I hope to see you next time.